In a valley nestled among towering mountains, where mist draped the landscape each dawn and the wind whispered like a soothing melody, lay a small village named Havenwood. Life in Havenwood flowed as serenely as a babbling brook, until one bitter winter day when darkness descended and seemed to swallow all hope. Elias, a middle-aged man with sorrowful eyes that held a universe of worries, lived alone in a small wooden cottage at the edge of the village. His wife, Serafina, had passed away the previous autumn, leaving a void in his heart that nothing could fill. Since then, Elias had withdrawn into himself, his world reduced to faded memories and a profound loneliness. That year, winter was harsher than any in memory. Relentless blizzards raged, isolating Havenwood from the outside world. Food supplies dwindled, and the fires that offered warmth faded with each passing day. Fear spread like a contagion, sowing despair in every heart. On the coldest, darkest night, as the howling of wolves echoed from the snow-covered peaks, a faint light flickered from Elias's cottage. It was Serafina's candle, a small amber-colored one that emitted an oddly warm and gentle glow. Elias hadn't dared to light it since the day his wife died, fearing that its flame would consume even the last vestiges of his memories of her. But tonight, in the suffocating darkness and bone-chilling cold, Elias could bear it no longer. His hands trembling, he lit the candle. The tiny flame danced, spreading a peculiar warmth that not only heated the room but also soothed the dull ache in his heart. As the flickering candlelight illuminated the cottage, Elias's gaze fell upon an old diary lying on the bedside table. It was Serafina's. His heart pounding, he opened the yellowed pages, and neat handwriting revealed itself, telling of simple dreams, small joys, and the deep love she held for him and for the village of Havenwood. In one entry, Elias read words Serafina had written the night before she fell ill. "I have always believed that even in the deepest darkness, a small flame can ignite hope. I pray that if one day I am no longer with you, this candle will be a reminder that love and kindness still exist, if only we dare to light them." Serafina's words flowed into Elias's frozen heart like a warm spring. He realized that the pain of loss had caused him to shut himself off, forgetting the beautiful values Serafina had always cherished. The small candle not only brought physical light, but also rekindled the dying embers of his spirit. The next morning, as weak rays of sunlight pierced through the snow-laden sky, Elias carried Serafina's candle to his doorstep. He placed it on a high log so that its small flame could be seen from afar. At first, no one noticed the solitary light, but gradually, the villagers began to discern its gentle glow. An elderly woman, her hands shaking, approached, her clouded eyes reflecting a glimmer of hope as she gazed at the flame. A father clutching his hungry, shivering child paused, finding a silent comfort in the candle's light. Elias stood silently beside the candle, his heart swelling with an indescribable emotion. He spoke no words, but his resolute gaze and the small, burning flame conveyed everything. A young boy named Finn, known for his mischievous nature, curiously asked Elias, "Mister, what does this candle mean?" Elias bent down, looked into the boy's innocent eyes, and gently replied, "This candle is the flame of hope, Finn. It reminds us that no matter how deep the darkness, there is always a guiding light if we don't give up." Elias's words spread throughout Havenwood. The villagers who had been sinking into despair began to seek out his candle. They stood around the flame, sharing their hardships, their fears, and even the beautiful memories of brighter days gone by. A carpenter named Noah, who had lost his workshop in a previous storm, brought a larger log and placed the candle on top. A woman named Lily, a former teacher, began to tell fairy tales to the children under the flickering candlelight. Gradually, Elias's candle became the heart of Havenwood. It not only provided physical light, but also warmed the cold hearts and connected the lonely souls. People shared what little they had, working together to overcome their difficulties. One night, when the blizzard briefly subsided, a group of young villagers decided to risk venturing out to seek help from the outside world. They carried a lantern lit from Elias's candle, a symbol of their hope and unity. After many arduous days, they reached a neighboring village and returned with essential supplies. As the rescue party entered Havenwood under the radiant dawn, the suffering villagers wept with joy. The harsh winter eventually passed. As the last snowflakes melted, Havenwood seemed to be reborn. Fresh green shoots began to sprout in the fields, and the joyful chirping of birds echoed throughout the valley. Elias continued to keep Seraphina's candle burning each night. The small flame had become the emblem of Havenwood, a reminder of the power of hope, love, and solidarity. The story of the candle spread far and wide, reaching the ears of people in neighboring villages. They came to Havenwood, not only to share, but also to learn about the miraculous flame that had lit 10,000 souls. One day, a stranger named Jasper arrived in Havenwood. He was a writer who had traveled extensively and witnessed many walks of life. When he heard the story of Elias's candle, he was deeply moved. Jasper decided to stay in Havenwood for a while. He chronicled the story of Elias, of Seraphina, of the resilient villagers, and of the small candle that had brought about a miraculous change for an entire community. Jasper's book, titled The Candle That Lit 10,000 Souls, became a phenomenon. The story of Havenwood spread across the land, inspiring millions who were facing hardship and adversity. Elias, the lonely man of days past, had now become a symbol of hope. He still lived in his small wooden cottage, still lit Seraphina's candle each night, but his heart was no longer cold. It had been warmed by the love and gratitude of the entire community. Havenwood was no longer a remote, forgotten village. It had become a beacon, a testament to the extraordinary strength of the human spirit. And it all began with a small candle, lit by love and illuminating with hope. Seraphina's original candle had long since burned down, but the flame it ignited continued to burn brightly in the hearts of every Havenwood resident and spread to countless other souls, reminding them that even in the darkest night, a small light can make a profound difference. The story of that candle became a legend, a profound lesson about the meaning of sharing, compassion, and the power of believing in the good.